All right, so today we're going to tackle something that at first glance looks, well, pretty complex. But I promise you, hidden inside all these characters is a really simple, universal story. It's all about that aha moment in learning. So let's just dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? When you're just starting a new language and you're faced with a big wall of text like this. It's just intimidating. It feels so dense, so unfamiliar. And it's so easy for that little voice in your head to pop up and say, nope, there is no way I'm ever going to be able to read that.
So, this is it. This is our source material for today. It's a passage from a Mandarin lesson. And I know, it looks like a lot. But don't worry, we're not going to sit here and translate every single character. Nope. We're going to do something much cooler. We're going to find the simple story that's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, because you see, this isn't just a wall of text. Think of it more like a stage. And on this stage, there are just two characters. And once we get to know them and their story, this whole thing just clicks into place.
So, let's meet our cast. First up, we've got Han, who we pronounce Ben. He's our learner, our student. And then we have Li, pronounced Li. She's the teacher. And that's it. This whole passage is really just a simple story about these two.
Okay, so the scene is set, the lesson's about to kick off, and Li, the teacher, is ready to give Ben his very first challenge.
So Li starts things off with a really clear instruction. We see Li shuo or Li shuo, which just means Li says. Pretty simple, right? And what does she say? 本写字, 本写字. Basically, 本, write characters. A nice, straightforward command.
But Ben hesitates. The text tells us, Ben kan shou, meaning Ben looks at his hand. And what happens next? Boucher, boucher, he doesn't write. Oh man, we've all been there, haven't we? That is total beginner's paralysis. That moment you just stare at your own hands and think, how do I even start?
So Li, being a good teacher, sees him hesitating and she clarifies. She says, 用手写字 or 用手写字. And see what she did there? She's not just repeating the command, she's gently reminding him how to do it. She's literally telling him what tool he needs to use.
Okay, and this phrase right here is a fantastic little building block. Let's just pull it apart for a second. First, you've got 用, which means to use. Then you have the object of that verb, which is show or hand. And finally, the action, 写字, to write characters. So it's use, hand, write characters. See? Super logical structure.
All right, so Ben knows how he's supposed to write now. The only thing missing is what to write. And that brings us to his first official lesson, his very first character.
And here comes the next instruction from the teacher. Again, it starts with 立说, Li says. And then she says, 字小, So 字is character, and 小 is small. Put it together, and she's telling him the character is small.
And here it is, the character itself, xiao. It's pronounced xiao, and it just means small. I mean, what a perfect, simple character to start with, right?
And he does it! Success! The text says, 本在写字小, 本在写字小. Now, see that character right in the middle there? 在. That's a super useful one. It tells us the action is happening right now. So this isn't just Ben writes, it's Ben is writing the character small. That's the breakthrough moment.
So Ben did it. He got over that initial hump, that fear. And what does a great teacher do in a moment like that? Well, she doesn't stop there. She immediately builds on that momentum, on that brand new confidence.
And I want you to notice the pattern here because it's brilliant. The instruction she gives is almost the exact same as before. It starts with li shuo, Li says, and then 字大. So the character is big. It's the same sentence structure, she just swapped out one word for another.
And here's our new character, da, pronounced da. And as you might have guessed, it's the natural opposite of small. This one means big.
And, full of his newfound confidence, Ben gets right to work. 本在写字大, 本在写字大. Ben is writing the character big.
And honestly, this is the real magic of learning a language, isn't it? The second you spot a pattern, you can just start plugging new words into it. It's awesome.
And how does the lesson end? With some well-deserved praise, of course. 李说好. Li shuo hao. Li says, good. And just like that, Bin has officially learned and written 2 brand new characters. Our little story is complete.
So let's just step back and look at everything we unpacked just by following that tiny story. It's actually a lot. We met our characters, Ben, the learner, and Li, the teacher. We figured out 写字, to write characters, 手, which is hand, and yang, to use. And on top of all that, we learned 2 super important opposites, 小 for small and 大 for big.
You know, the final sentence we found in that text really says it all. It's 本会写字. 本会写字. And that means Ben can write. He went from total hesitation to actual capability. He can do it now. And that amazing transformation kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? If a big, scary wall of text can be broken down this simply, what are you going to decode next?